Hello there, RC. I already did the major unboxing video where I did all the components, but I've done these little videos on the separate parts that were in it, and I figured, you know what, if you don't have questions only about the map, I do one quickly just about the map. So just so that anybody knows, in case you're wondering, this is the Global War 1936 to 1945 version 3 map from Historical Board Gaming. And I'm just going to start in South America and work my way across the map left to right. All right. Notice that not much has changed. Some of the names have changed. A lot of the names have gone from cities to regions or provinces or states or whatever they went by. For the most part, I didn't notice too many new additions. Besides the terrain, we obviously have jungles. Brazil has a 4th territory, which is now here. I believe there was 3 before, or maybe not. I can't remember. There's only 3 income, which hasn't changed, so that's not much of a major change. This convoy line along here is still the same. US for 3. Going into here, this is just as busy as it was before, so I believe it's all about the same. We got some jungle here where Central America and Eastern Mexico border each other. And another thing that's different is Mexico now has 2 different land zones, one on each end of the map. They used to be all one zone. Now this is a separate zone from the other side on the Pacific. So there's a little sign here saying to Western Mexico. That's new. This side's got an income, the other side doesn't. So I don't believe it changed, but I could be wrong. The Americans haven't really changed much, although they did add this convoy line here for 2, the Caribbean line. They've also added a convoy line in here through the Great Lakes. Canada has had its names adjusted again. The northern names, I believe, are based off of 1936 names, so if they're politically incorrect anywhere on this map, it's not an intentional thing. It's trying to be historically accurate to what was available. We then also have the tundra up here. All right, Baffin Island, Greenland look like they are glaciated. I could be wrong though. Iceland has tundra on it. Let's see, what else have we changed here? The UK has and Ireland have not changed much except for this territory down here. This sea zone no longer intersects with the old one, but it still has the 2 air bases, so nothing's really changed tactically here. London is now a separate city, so that if you build something in London, you can't access it through the shipyard on this side. So that's a slight change. All right. This Russian convoy line is still has no value, so that hasn't changed. I believe Norway changed, but I could be wrong. It looks like it's got 3 territories. I thought for some reason it had 2, but I played a couple of play tests on some of the older or younger versions of this game, so I'm not sure if my memory's just fading. Germany still has its convoy line in here. There is now this marsh area in here in Finland, taking up this entire territory and part of the border of southern Finland. That's a bit of a change. All right. I know there are a few things that have changed. I might miss a few things, but I'm not trying to here. The Pripyat marshes, they're still there. Nothing changed there. Some things changed the name of, like this used to be Sudetenland, now it's Bohemia. That's happened all over the place. I'm not sure what's all going on. I'd have to play the game a couple times and find them all. Let's go back to the Atlantic. This sea zone is still this convoy line is still the same. I think the French used to have a spot on it, but they've been removed. The French have no convoy lines anymore. They used to be tied in with a few British. They've all been removed. Spain hasn't really changed. Names have, but the way the geography is split up doesn't appear to have changed. In Africa, like I said, names, the addition of desert, the impassable Sahara, and then desert all across here and down to here. Jungle in here, a little bit of desert here. Everything looks basically the same except for the addition of Tobruk as a city, and how this has been split. Here you have Western Egypt and Eastern Egypt, so you can no longer bypass the Suez and come around the south here, which is fine. It just changes how you play a little bit. By adding the Katara Depression. Not 100% sure if I said that right. Italy has a new convoy line here from Tripoli all the way up to Rome. It's worth one. Italy's been removed from this convoy line that the British are on, and so have the French, $2 as well. So that's a slight change. For the most part, not much has changed. Otherwise, the mountains are still mountains. If I miss the odd little desert, or this is all desert, by the way. When I first got the game, because there's these double borders here, it was a little bit difficult to see the difference, but you can clearly see that this has got a desert border here, and this side does not. So it's not as difficult to see as I first thought. I just didn't know what I was looking for. First impression, right? India hasn't really changed. This convoy line here has removed the Australians and the French from it. It's now only 3 for the FEC. Since I'm on convoy lines, let's go to this one here. The Dutch have also been removed from this one. It's only 2 for the Australians. This convoy line up here has stayed the same. I believe it was 5 for the Japanese before. It still is Japanese. We have this other one here for 5 as well from the old Jahal, which is now Rihi, I believe, to the home islands there. Alright, and this final convoy line here is the Americans for 3. That one hasn't changed from the Philippines all the way to San Francisco, I believe. And for that, most hasn't really changed. They have the impassable desert here, clearly marked again. The islands in the Pacific, I believe, no new ones have been added. They've just kind of moved them around a little bit and changed some names. You have the Himalayas impassable still from what used to be Indochina, but now potentially northern Vietnam. I'm not 100% sure here, but it's impassable, so you can't go from Yunnan to Burma. You have to go into these French territories, then Siam, then into Burma, or I guess you could from the French to Burma. They changed that a little bit there too. Maybe my memory might just be foggy. Let's move that glare out of the way. So yeah, impassable along here, so you'd have to come around either direction. All right, the impassability continues all the way up through here, and then you have a desert in the lower half. You also in China and Mongolia have another desert on the border. Bit of a change here. I forgot to mention this, but there's jungle all throughout here, and then we have jungle all throughout the islands in here. So that may change how you play. Oh, there's a desert in here as well. So that might affect gameplay. This is not a border that's frequently crossed, but there is a desert in here. That may affect some stuff. Novosibirsk is now a city. It was previously not a city. So that will change the tactic play for that location. Japan, I've already run over this, but it's got a new city territory, so it's got the 1, 2, and 3 it had before, plus the city. These lines are a little bit fainter than some of the other ones for borders, but I may think it's mainly just because of the closer color that the Japanese landmass is. And how busy it is. There's so many islands, and the coastline so mobile and skinny in spots. You also have tundra all the way across northern Russia, and then you have tundra across North America. Just in the border, you can, just like Russia, you can use the territories. You just have tundra across the very top. Again, not much of this has changed. Some of the names have. North America hasn't changed, except for, again, Mexico. This is Western Mexico. On the other side of the map, it is, you can see here, to Eastern Mexico. It's a little faint to read with the camera here, but it's there. I understand why it's faint. You don't want it to be, people to get confused between it being this and saying it goes to that. And again, you still have your C-zone mobile movements, where it says 2 C-zone 106, and this is currently 131, right? So you can tell which C-zones you're going to on the other side of the map. And that is my quick rundown on the map. Obviously, I haven't hit everything. I'm going to find more as I play with it. But for the most part, there you go. Quick rundown, and just in case you came in a little bit late or forgot, Global War 1936 to 45 version 3 map, historical board gaming. And this is my conclusion to my unboxing set. I thought I had concluded already, but I'm going to conclude it here. Thank you. Bye.